Well, Rob, how long have we been speaking about doing this? Months and
Yes.
months and months.
A long time.
Aye.
I'm
Don't
glad
know.
we've finally got around to it.
Aye. We'll get round to various parts of our life and all the rest of it, which is good. And I'm hoping to do it with other veterans as well. This is our very first one.
Yes.
And we've got the equipment, and
Yes.
thank God for my grandson Rory turning up and showing us how it works.
Yes, I'm sure he can put his name up at the end. When
So, I mean, I do know a bit about your background. You're a veteran.
yes.
Who did you serve with?
I was in the Gordon Highlanders,
Aye.
1970 to 77. Done many a tour in Ireland, 3 I think. And then we went to Singapore after that. That was fabulous.
Aye.
So, like other veterans, I think I would say I'll probably date her again.
Aye, without a doubt. Even the
look-
shit.
Yeah,
Even the
yeah,
shit.
even
you'd
the
do
shit.
it again.
yeah. Which is strange, but we would.
Well, you know, I found it a great learning curve for when I moved on from the army. You know, the army taught me
Yeah.
how to find a good mate
Yes.
and how to avoid the wankers.
Yes.
And it taught me how to treat life differently.
Exactly. Which was a good help. Because it's difficult going into Civic Street, isn't it, when you first come out? You know?
No, I found it quite easy, to be honest. I mean, how long did you do?
I've done 7 years,
7 years.
70 to 77.
I did just under 9 and bought myself out in a fucking hissy fit.
Yes.
Fell out with the army big time. And then I joined the police, and it was just one uniform for another, you know. But I found dealing with civvies when you come out of the army quite difficult. I still call civvies,
Yes,
you know.
of course. Aye.
Did you enjoy your time?
Yes, I certainly did. I joined in Sauchiehall Hall Street in Glasgow. And after I'd done 2 or 3 tests, this is 1969, the end of it. You know, and then they continued that on to say, well, there's a doctor coming in this afternoon if you'd like to get your medical as well. So I got my medical,
Aye.
and then I had a break. I went for a coffee or something, went back and signed on the army. I signed in the Gordon Highlanders. What regiment do you want to go in? I says, oh, I don't know nothing about regiments. It's only 17 and a half.
Aye.
And he opened a wee curtain, and the regiments were on the left-hand side, and where they were going to be posted over the next 5 or 6 years was on the right-hand side. And I got to the 4th one down, Gordon Highlanders, going to Cyprus and Singapore. I said, what to be a Gordon Highlander?
I never got there. Never got to the hot places at all, apart from Belfast.
Yeah.
That was kind of hot with all the writing and the fire.
Well, the Cyprus tour in 71 was to do with the Turks and Greeks, who were very much against each other. We found it very hard to live in the same area, and the United Nations took on board that fact and put in troops, and I was part of that for 6 months. So. We wore a kilt and a blueberry. It looked smashing.
Well, I did 9 years, or just under 9. Oh, I joined. Well, I went to see about joining the army because what the job I was doing was in a factory. It was 12-hour shifts with 1 day off, you know, and it was day shift or night shift, and it was hard work, good money, but hard work. And I went into the recruiting office in Hanover Street, and I said to them, I want to join the military police. Why? I said, I don't know. I want to join the military police. And he says, well, you have to give us a choice of 3, you know, and here's all the ones like you, here's all the ones you can join. I said, well, if I can't join the military police, didn't worry about it, because I didn't want to join anything else.
I'll leave it.
I had no idea. No idea why I said that, or why I wanted to do it. Well, I do actually, till I lie. I saw an advert to be a dog handler in the RAF, and I thought, I fancy that. So I phoned up the RAF recruiting and says, hey, I'd like to join. Why? Would you want to join? I says, well, I want to be a dog handler in the RAF police. Oh, you need to serve about 12 years before you get near that. Thank fuck I didn't join them. Because I saw them afterwards in the Toy Town. You know.
But the main point about that, I think, Doug, is that you definitely look back on it and think how much we never knew, both about life and both about the military when you're signing their life away for 9 years or whatever it was at the time. It's astounding, that, isn't it?
I was old when I joined the army. I was 21.
Right.
You know, when I went to Chichester for the training, 17 and a half, 18-year-old guys round about me.
Yeah.
And I was old, just
Exactly.
by 3 years.
Exactly.
And it was hard work for me. The training was hard work for me. Well, the first 6 months you do in the training, it's all kind of physical. It's you're on the drill square, you're in the gym, and you know, and it was all hard work for me because I was a fat boy at the time. I still am.
Yeah.
But you know, but they got the weight off of me big time.
They would.
Absolutely big time.
Oh, aye.
You come out the gym, right, we're going for a run, and in Chichester they had this bloody mountain you could see.
Yeah.
Aye, we're going for a run up there. Oh, right. Pick up that telegraph pole. You know.
I started my training digs in Aberdeen in Aberdeen, but we only done half the training, and they changed the depot from the Brigadoon in Aberdeen
Aye.
down to Glencore's in Edinburgh. So I finished my training down there.
No.
I was back squadded once, saw coming out there.
What you?
I was back squadded. I just found it difficult at that age to take it all in, I think, Dukes.
Aye, maybe.
Later on, you know, I was fine once I got to the battalion and stuff like that, and fitted in, which is like a lot of guys. I mean, we do stuff in training digs that you never need to do again in your life, let alone
that's
a battalion.
right.
It's good for that point of view, but I can still see myself digging trenches down in Cartrick or something in about November or December. I could hardly break the ice to dig it.
I went through in the winter and all. Jesus.
Yeah.
Aye.
Aye.
I got jailed at depot.
Did you?
I was standing on the P, and this this Remy corporal came in, and he was a slob. I don't know how he was in the military police attachment, because he was just a slob. And he says, when you're finished with your piss, go round the urinals and pick all the dog ends out. And I went, no, not me. I'm not here to pick out dog ends. I says, I didn't smoke for a start. Find the guys that are smoking, get them to do it.
Yeah.
You do it or I'm arresting you. I says, carry on, arrest me.
Aye. Well,
He marched me across to the guard room and put me in the guard room. 2 hours later, the duty officer came to see me. He was a good guy, Matheson his name was. He'd been in RSM for about 30 years, and he got his commission because he felt sorry for him.
Aye.
And he came in and he says, what happened? And I told him. He says, why didn't I do it? You were given an order. I says, because he's Remy, I'm military police. You didn't fucking tell the military police what to do. I think I was three weeks in the army and got an attitude. You know, and he went, really? I says, well, this is what you've been training me. You know. He says, right answer, son, get away to your fucking room.
Well, when you're talking like that, it came back to me there, Dougs. When I arrived at Fort George as a raw recruit, got picked up in the 3-tonner with 2 or 3 other guys taken up to Fort George about 4 o'clock in the morning or something crazy like that. And it looked like I was driving into hell, to be honest with you. I could just see the fort in the distance and on darkness and all that. So what they decided to do was, or what they done was, they kept the new recruits that was arriving on parade at the camp gates at the tunnel at Fort George.
Was that taboo you as you came through the roof?
For maybe the CO coming in, some dignitary coming in, so as we could salute him, and then you would get put out of your whatever company you were assigned to. And I remember standing there as a 17-year-old boy, came to attention, car passed me. I think it was actually camp commandant or something like that. It was somebody dignitary, it had flags on it, and I didn't care. So we saluted him, and standing at ease, and the corporal was walking up and down, looking for something to say. And he stopped at me, he said, who's that over there? And I looked a couple of 100 yards away. There was a guy with a dog. And I'm thinking, what do you say here? You know, really? I think it might be the CO with his dog. Great one, Smith. Great answer. See that dog that he's got with him? I says, yes, Corporal. That dog's a higher rank than you, son. Honestly. And for that time, I'm going, I wonder if in a few years I might get a complex about stuff like that. You know, all the guys were laughing, of course. You know, one guy said after it, you should have walked to him, done a pee in the water. So it was that camaraderie and laughing together that got us through a lot of that. So that was good. Dodge, can I ask you, without going into any conditions, of course, how did you get to combat stress and what did they do for you?
I had a wee incident in my life after I'd left the army. After I'd left the police, and I needed help.
Yes.
Desperately, I needed help, and I went up to see my doctor. Took my wife up with me. Went up to see my doctor, and I told him what had happened. He just picked up the phone, and then phoned combat stress. Yep. Can you speak to this guy? And that was the start of combat stress for me. And thankfully, I had to wait probably about 4 weeks, in between which time I went to another place in Edinburgh, and I can't mind for the life of us. Right. We shared the building with him when we were in Gilmerton, the other charity that was there. And yep. I went to them.
Erskine?
We were at Erskine, but remember there was another Veterans First, it was
Point.
called.
Veterans First Point.
Aye. And I sort of went to them for first aid help. And then I got the chance to go through the combat stress in there, which was a broad place, like, you know.
Was that Hollybush?
Hollybush, aye. And which is no longer there, which is a shame. But I had to do a week's assessment course, yeah. And at the end of it, the male nurse says, yeah, we're going to get you back for 6 weeks treatment. He says, but first of all, you have to come in for 2 weeks to do anger management. I went, fucking anger management? What the fuck, Dan? And then he took a step back, and I thought about, I maybe need it, you know.
Yes.
But I never got to the 6 weeks.
Yep.
COVID came along.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't think we met there, did we?
No.
We met
through combat stress.
Through combat stress at the meeting and volunteer meetings.
Yes.
I mean, you were. How did you end up with combat stress
then? Pretty similar story, Dougs. I knew I always think that I was lucky in many ways, because when I came out of the army at about 26 or something, 25, and I never had any problems at all. I didn't recognise that there was something the matter with me. As the years passed, my family did. They were certainly saying, you could hear them talking in the background, definitely something the matter with him, you know, kind of thing. And I always pushed it off. Then took to heavy drinking. And started to wonder why I was always the last one to leave the pub. And it started to strike me there was something the matter. And then there was one fateful day that I got about 2 crates of lager and a couple of bottles of brandy and enough coke to do me for a fortnight, and put nails through my front and back door so my family couldn't get in. That was me excommunicating myself for reality and for them. I was disowning everything. I was going to do this my way. The way that the army taught me, really, to take to drink, because that's a reward. And you've been a good boy, you get a reward, and you buy drink, and you take it for you. So I knew I was going to a bad place, and I was simply up the library, and I'd seen a card with combat stress on it. Somebody had left it on the table, and I phoned that number. I went into Glasgow and had an assessment in Glasgow, and about 7 or 8 months after that, I was lucky enough to get the 6 weeks at Hollybush. Something that I'm ever so thankful for. I've always said, right or wrong, that I don't think that you get cured. There's no magic tablet.
No, it's always there.
But what it does do, Dougs, is it learns you to cope with life a lot better. Especially for younger guys in their 30s or 40s or something.
That's
you know.
Right.
And it is indicative that people, they come quite late to combat stress. I mean, I was out 35 years. You know, it's a long time.
I was similar, like, you know.
although some of the younger guys coming through now for Afghan and stuff like that, the Falklands and stuff like that. But it does take some people, and a lot of soldiers or ex-military people, a long time to reach out for help. And there's reasons for that as well, because we were always trained that we were big soldiers not to ask for help. And that's a big obstacle for some guys.
I'm going to let you carry on a minute, because
and that's a big obstacle for some people, Dougs. They have this concept that because they've done their army training, because they've lived a certain way of life throughout their time in the military, that's the way things should be. A wee example of that is maybe a sergeant coming out of the army and getting a job in an office, in a transport place or something, and the under manager under him is letting people come in 10 and 15 minutes late. We can't comprehend to that. We think that's, well, I do think it's an insult. If I'm meeting you at 9 o'clock and I'm not there, you can start checking the Royal Infirmary. It's how I live my life, you know. But civilians don't, and it starts to break down. Then it starts to annoy the ex-military people. That, hey, his pal gets away with it, but you know, that's not right. We should all be here on time. So that was the way that I seen it as well. You know.
I mean, I was always taught when I was in the military post, if you're parading at 9, you're there at 8:45.
Yes.
You know, and that's the way it's always worked for me. If I've got an appointment to go and see a doctor or something, I'm there at least 15 minutes before, because it was bred into me.
Exactly.
But you're right about the drink.
Yeah.
I mean, I did 2 years in Belfast. Saw some horrible things.
Yes.
And then, I can't remember the exact date. I've got it. I keep it written down to look at it every now and again.
Yes.
Just to remind me of the shit.
Yes.
And it was a day, there was something like 25 bomb calls to the centre of Belfast.
The one day.
And 14 or 15 went off.
Yeah.
Well, apart from one of them, I was at every one of them explosions.
Were you?
Aye. And at the end of the day, you were shaking.
Oh.
You know.
100%.
And we got stood down from it all once it was all over, and we're driving back to Lisbon, where the camp was. We get a call about 10, go to the bus station, give him a hand there. And we got handed plastic bags, and you had to put body parts into the bags.
Aye.
And take them up to the mortuary.
What age would you be then, Dougs, roughly?
22. And you took them up to Lagan Valley mortuary, and you lay them out.
Yeah.
And you matched the bits of body with the clothes they were wearing, because you couldn't match them with it.
No.
You know. And when that was all finished, we met back at the camp, and we went into the couples mess, and we had beer. And that was the therapy.
Yes,
you know. And you were all tough boys. We're all as tough as fuck. Oh, came what we did today, you know.
Yeah.
I know he matched a red sleeve with a blue body, you know, and she kind of, it's all bravado, it's all hiding, like, you know.
Of course, it gets just how you cope.
Put away, you know, it gets put away into a dark place.
Correct.
And I worked out that between Northern Ireland and my time in the Police, I'd seen over 100 dead bodies that had been violently killed, you know. I think the new word for it is unlived.
Yes.
You know, because you can't put on social, you can't say
no
murder or anything. The person was unlived. Well, you know, and again, it was really strange living with that, and you don't know you're living with it.
Yes, of course you don't.
You know.
You don't. And I think hence a wee bit, Dougs, there comes the gap up between 22 and 40, because you've got life to go on with. You may have kids here on then. You're focusing on just getting through from day to day, and then something big happens in your life, and bang, you realise that you're not right, and you've got to. I would ask anybody that is listening to this to go and seek help for that. You know, like I said before, never be cured 100%.
No.
But your life, the way that you live your life, and the things and rewards that you get, and your family, because we may have it, Dougs, but your family suffers for it.
Oh, without a doubt. and it's only when you look back,
Exactly.
you know, when you sit down with a therapist, you know, because I ended up doing one-to-ones because
Yes.
the 6-week thing was finished because of COVID.
Yeah.
And it's only, you're talking away and suddenly this wee thing goes click.
Yeah.
Fuck. I was an arsehole, you know.
Yeah.
I was a pure bastard.
Well, you were an anthropologist.
I know.
So
Smart.
we'll look at doing that.
No, because we need to start with your convictions in.
Oh.
But, you know, just one other quick one with combat. We'll stick with combat stress for a couple of minutes because we're not just here to talk about them. But they help me. But see, the language that you use is fucking put in a box and put it under the bed and it's there, you know, all your bad memories.
Yes.
Or use this as a tool from your toolbox.
Yes. And
I'm going to have no got a fucking toolbox.
Correct.
You know? But you and me met through combat stress.
Yep.
And we kept trying to convince them to use us. We had been through the system.
yeah.
You know, we turned up at the meetings that they held once a month and we said, use us.
Yes.
And God bless them. They did.
Yes.
And now we're volunteers with them.
Correct.
And that's really how we got to know each other, through the volunteers thing, like, you know.
It certainly was. It certainly was.
And that helps me a lot.
Yes. One thing I would like to say about that that's important, Doug. For an example, myself, who was lucky enough to do the 6 weeks, and you come out of Hollybush and miss it terrible for a few weeks. They called it the Hollybush Blues, I think. So that was a downside, but then I come up and got stronger.
Right. Excuse me a minute though, did you feel like it was like being back in the army again?
Yes, of course it was. Of course it was.
You know, because you paraded for your bricks.
You spent more time at the smoke shelter than what you did doing anything else.
Oh, you
because
do
that's
that
where
here,
all the
no?
good
You do that
gossip
here,
was.
no? For Christ's sake. Where is he doing this?
There's guys that didn't smoke sitting in it for hours because the
Aye.
stories were
Well,
just,
that's right, aye.
you know.
And you had a system there. And it was like the army, you turned up at 8 o'clock for your breakfast.
Yes,
If you weren't there, they were knocking on your door.
correct,
Get your arse through there, you know.
correct.
And it all came back to you, the army talk came back to you.
Uh-huh.
And, you know, sorry I interrupted you, but just that flashed in.
That's fine, that's fine. So I was saying there about doing the time at combat stress, coming out, doing what I'd done, went through it, and then went back to combat stress and says, listen, I want to volunteer to do something. I probably could sit here honestly and say I've probably been helping combat stress for 6 or 7 years at least, doing all different roles.
Aye.
I used to help with going to meetings at night and taking meetings at night for the
Well done.
the guys that's working and, you know,
Aye.
can't make it during
Aye,
the day
aye.
and stuff like that. And then we progressed on to coming here, going to combat stress to sit with the guys for nothing more simple than sitting with the guys with a coffee and lending an ear so as they could talk. And it really broke down a lot their nervousness about getting in and seeing a psychiatrist or a physician or whatever,
Aye.
because they have ideas in their head of, if I don't show that I'm all right, they're going to lock me up with a padded cell, and where do I go there? And all the worries, and they're literally very, very nervous and lose the first 2 or 3 interviews, to be honest with you, because of that nervousness.
Well, you're not taking it in, are you? Your
Correct.
mind's whizzing round
So,
and-
what we do, as you know, Dougs, is sit and have a coffee with them and try and make them relax, just go through a couple of things, what regiment were you in, try and take their mind off what other way to go through, because it is difficult
You're
for them.
going away your trips, you're going away a trip. How do it?
So it is difficult for them. So
Aye.
I'm pleased to do that. But what I was going to say, Dougs, was where I'm heading is, it goes further than that for me. And I've seen it in yourself as well, and you mentioned it briefly. It's a further help for us.
Oh,
There's a space there at the table for somebody that's went through everything and feeling better and wanting to give time back. There's a place at that table for them.
aye.
And that is further, that will help them a lot further as well.
Aye.
And that's the way I feel. Giving is like receiving, Dougs. It's brilliant to give something into something and go home on a Monday, as I do every Monday, thinking, well, I've done my bit. Okay, I'm only here 4 hours, that's what I volunteered for today.
You're a part-time, aren't you?
Yes, I'm a part-time. And I come on a Monday, and it seems every other week it's a holiday for me.
Ken,
But the point I'm trying to make is that it definitely helps. It's further therapy is the word I'm looking for.
aye. But it's not, it's therapy for us, but it's no therapy, you know.
Yeah,
But I get something about it. I go home a happier person,
yes, of
just
course.
doing what I'm doing. I mean, I've had some of the therapists who didn't bother waiting for so-and-so.
Uh-huh.
They didn't want to talk, you know.
No, that's right.
Well, I'm here.
And there is some guys I've came across a couple of them, and they just don't want to. They don't want to be here. They don't want to talk. It's a shame. It's a shame.
I had a therapist said that to me. Just go. I said, well, I'll wait, you know, for him coming in. And he sat him down with a cuppa, and we just clicked. You know, some of us do just straight away. As soon as they realise we've been through it and all,
Correct.
and we're in the wee tea room, and up comes the therapist, and she stopped because the two of us were laughing like drains,
Yes.
you know, and it was a big shock to her.
Aye.
And that's when the therapist realised
Exactly.
they had a wee help.
It's a positive, and my positive as well is that 2 or 3 of the guys just lately, I've been doing it about 18 months, something like that. Just recently, there's quite a few of them starting to ask if they're having coffee in the road out as well. With
Aye, aye.
You know, because they went through a lot and they want to discuss with me what I felt about, you know, and just talk about that.
And
So it helps
Aye.
them to go away.
And I had that a couple of times. I said to the guy, listen, if you want another cup on the way out, I'm here.
Yeah,
You know.
Yeah.
So he says, can I get a cuppa? When he came out, we sat down and we just chatted away.
yes.
And that's when you think you've got a wee breakthrough with him, you know. And it's great. It's absolutely great. Another guy the other day says, is that you finishing now? I says, aye. Where are you in for Queen Street? Can I walk down the road with you?
That's right.
You know.
That's right.
But the biggest thing I've got to combat stress is a friendship with you.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm not blowing wind up your arse
No,
because you're sat
no.
next to me. You know?
No.
It's,
No.
if you had told me when I was serving as a military police,
Yes.
I'd be sitting talking to a grubby squaddy somewhere,
Exactly.
you know, because I was military police.
Exactly.
We were up there and you were down there. You
That's
know,
right.
But, and, we
And
got
that's
into
how I'm
it.
so pleased to sit with you in a pub because I'm up there.
And we've got Hunter as well, you know.
Yes, yep,
He's,
yep.
he's there as well.
Correct.
Eh,
Correct.
but two other things, and let's stop talking about combat stress. You're right about the age. You know, we're seeing younger guys coming in now.
Definitely.
You know,
Definitely.
and you see them from all services,
Yes.
all colours, all creeds,
Yes. Yep.
all sexes. I've never had a man dressed up as a woman yet saying they were a WRAC. You know,
Uh-huh.
I suppose that'll come along sometime.
I'm sure you'll be ready for it, Dukes.
As long as you just stand at the next year end with me with your skirt up, I'll be happy, like, you know.
Aye.
But, and you wonder, these guys have been to Iraq, Afghanistan, and they've seen a lot more shit than I ever saw.
Aye.
You know. And for longer. I mean, I did 2 years in Northern Ireland. It wasn't like the soldiers at the time, like yourselves. You went and did either a 3-month tour or a 4-month tour,
Yes.
and then you left. We were there for 2 years, and I was lucky enough. I got a married quarter
Yep.
and went home to our family every night, which helped.
Yep. Yep.
And a couple of good gaffers helped as well. And that's what you needed.
The other thing I would like to discuss with the two of you, Dukes, is how we would improve the volunteering, do you think? My thoughts on it, just while you think, is that I've always, because I was lucky enough to be able to do the peer support meetings at one time, that was taken off me for red tape reasons. Maybe the powers that be in England or whatever, I don't know. But if Sarah Jane is a problem with numbers, turning up at 7 o'clock at night, and just overwhelmed with the amount of people that she's trying to deal with, I definitely think they should consider opening up to say to me and you, you know, there's a flask, there's his cups, away you go and meet the veterans are coming at 7 o'clock in Edinburgh at night. I don't see any reason why no. I would like that to happen. But I do know that Stuart and company are restricted very much to what they can do and what they can't do.
I know. And
Which is getting into politics, which I don't want to. So.
I didn't want to be slagging.
No.
It's no slagging. It's a complaint, in as much as we think we can do more for them.
Yes. Aye.
You know, I mean, we don't get paid for it. We're volunteers.
Correct.
You know?
Correct.
And the other thing I was going to bring up is we now have this thing with the Grand Lodge of Scotland,
Yes.
where they've taken to supporting us,
Yes.
which is unbelievable as far
That's
as I'm
very much
concerned.
thanks to you, by the way, Doug. Well done, sir.
But what we're doing now, or what we're the first one's Pitlochry,
Yeah.
in a couple of weeks' time. You know, we're going along and we're telling
Yes.
the gathered masons there and other folk that are allowed in. We're telling them our experience, how bad it was,
Correct.
you know.
Correct.
And then the likes of Stuart, who then stands up and gives them the numbers and how the treatment happens, and he's welcome to that bugger.
Yes.
You know, don't want anything to do with that at all. And I've got a lot of time for the staff, for what they do. Some more than others. Some of them are very overworked. And I'm not going to say any more about that either.
No.
But there's going to be you and I.
How
going
much did the last donation for you?
For the Grand Lodge gave us 1,500.
Oh, brilliant.
But the good thing is, it's staying in Scotland.
Yes.
It's not going into the general fund. It's staying in Scotland. And the reason I asked for that is because we're on the ground, we can see what's happening. If we're needing something in a hurry to help a guy out, the cash is there for it.
Yeah.
You know.
Correct.
And down south for the head offices and where all the decisions are made, have agreed to that as well. So
It's
over the moon with that.
because of an age thing again, Doug's probably been out of work environment for a wee while now. There's so much red tape involved in what you can do and what you can't do. It's
And
just
what you can't
ridiculous.
say. And
What you can't say and what you can't do. So it's kind of alien to us the way places are done now. I would probably like to just sum up, if that's all right.
aye.
Sum up by saying, please, guys, if you feel as if you need help, or if your family's constantly on you to do something about things that you're doing or not doing, or you're not acting in a particular way, or you are acting in a particular way, seek help. Seek help, guys.
And
It's there for you.
it doesn't have to be combat stress.
No,
You know.
no. There's a lot of charities out there, correct.
In fact, I went to Who Cares Wins or something, is it?
Who dare wins?
Aye, something like that. And it's an ex-SAS guy that's their figurehead for it,
Yes.
you know. And I was listening to him speaking. It was actually at the Grand Lodge. I was listening to him speaking. And he's very interesting, can hold an audience. And he wasn't shouting about what he had done.
Aye.
You know, he was just there, and he was taking questions. And I said, do you think there's too many charities helping Scotties, you know, who are now veterans? He went, far too many. We should all be joining together, you know.
Correct.
But then again, it then becomes a big machine.
Yes, in politics again.
And, you know, that's what we need.
Yes.
We need somebody like him. I can't mind his name, I'm terrible with names, you know that.
I was just going to wait to say that to you. Were actually looking. You were going to say you're looking.
We're looking for somebody who can be an ambassador for us.
Correct.
For up in Scotland, you know, England can find their own ambassador, and I'm not being racist. I'm a loyalist through and through.
Yeah.
I've always supported the country of Great Britain.
Yes.
And I've always supported
Allegiance
the royal
to the
family.
Crown. Allegiance to the crown. I know.
Although sometimes it's kind of hard.
So no, that would be great if we could get somebody that's interested. You know, it's a figurehead person. They would probably need to donate some time for pictures or something as well. But I'm sure there might be somebody out there, and if anybody knows, please contact us. You know, or if they're keen to do it, please contact us.
Aye. And you know,
I wouldn't mind Alan McCoist or somebody, you know, but that's just a preference.
I'll write to him. I'll write to him and ask him. But the bugger's on the telly every day.
I know, he's busy at the football. So that more or less drums it up for me, unless you can like to talk about something else, Dukes. Do you think you would do something like this again? Or?
Oh, aye. We'll do a couple more of this, and then we'll try and get a
following, aye.
Another, no, not just a following. We'll get somebody else in, and I mean, the next time we'll still thinking about it.
Yes.
But the next time we'll do a bit more.
Yeah.
Of our lives rather than combat stress.
Yes, of course.
You know,
of course.
Combat stress is a part of our life now. You know, and I say nothing against them because they've helped me.
Yeah.
And I'm glad they let us do what we're doing. You know, I will do it. Definitely do it again. Make it a bit lighter the next time.
Yeah.
You can dress as Snow White and I'll dress as somebody else. You know, but. And then we'll see if we can get a few of the veterans to talk.
Talking about lighter things, just the end of what we're going on now, Dukes, but I want to tell them this story. Because we went to Singapore, I would be 19, Faye was 18. We were married for 10 days before she flew out to Singapore 3 months later, so we didn't know what marriage was. I eventually got an army house and we moved in together, and it was a big block of flats. In Chit B in Singapore, and there was about 4 or 5 flats all around about us, and you could look into everybody's houses because the veranda doors was always open because of the heat, you know. So I stayed about 3 years longer than I should have in the families club, and went up the road, and me and Faye started arguing, which turned a bit physical, right? Pushing and shoving and stuff like that, because we were still young, we didn't know what marriage was, to be honest with you. So unbeknownst to us, somebody was watching through the window or the veranda, seeing me and Faye, you know, sort of wrestling on the flare, if you like, and they phoned the military police. So just before they arrived, unknown, I don't know at the time they're coming, Faye decides to put an end to it all and just go and get a carpet sweeper and hit me on the head with it. So I was kind of semi-conscious when my door went, and it was the military police. They says to Faye, step outside to make sure you're all right, Mrs. Smith. I was lying half at the game behind the couch. Now, funnily enough, guys, we never had no bother with violence after that. And we've lasted till we're 51 year married, so we're doing all right. I just thought I would add that.
I'll give you a funny one. When I was in Osnabrück, we had the Queen's Own Highlanders, the Argyll and Sutherland shoplifters, as we used to call them. Yes. There was 2 regiment engineers, and there was another military regiment who I just can't remember at the time, and the Royal Scots Dragoon Guards, all in that garrison. And we had a lovely brand new spanking Louis came on board, like, you know, and he turned up for the night shift. He was good. You called him by his first name, you know. He wanted to be one of the guys, and he was, but he was just a wee guy. Yep. And we got a call for a domestic taking place up at Belm in the Married Quarters, top floor. And I says, right, I'll nip up and look. Can I come with you? He says, trotting along beside me. I said, I ain't bothered. I says, but just didn't say anything, you know, because it's a Scottish regiment. You got an English gob, you know. So went up there, and the guy answered the door, and he's bleeding for a bit. He shouldn't be bleeding for, like, you know. Oh, Polish, thank Christ you're here. You know, we'd done that. I was expecting here, he had his mates up for a game of cards, and he says, well, missus. And at that, this thing appeared in the hallway, and she filled it in height and width. Yes. And it's just coming up. I says to the boy, stand out here. Any kids in the house? He says, no. Right, just stand out here. He's fucking coming back in here. You're not taking him anywhere. I says, I'm not taking him, I'm taking you. She went, aye, fucking try it. And she grabbed the hood of the tie. Of course, the tie come off. Aye. It was a clip on. So she couldn't get that. So she reached over to the officer, and he's got a knotted tie on. And she's grabbed it, and she's thrown him about with a fucking tie. And I'm trying to wrestle her hands off it. And it's Pippi, we called him. I says, Pippi, you all right? He's going, can he breathe? You know. So what am I going to do here? Exactly. And you weren't allowed to use your truncheon unless it was a danger to life.
Yes.
And he was starting to go purple.
Right.
So I just dinked her with a truncheon on the side of the head, like, you know, it's enough to give her a wee stun, and she sort of staggered back. Try to get this off, and I says to the boy, nip in there and get a pair of scissors or a knife. Oh, we've gone into the darkness. And that's tying up, by the way. He comes out with this huge carving knife, and as he's running past his wife, who's on the floor, she grabs him by the ankle, pulls him down, gets the knife and went to stab him. So I've had to jump in there. I gave him another dunk again.
Brilliant.
Got the tie undone. And we had to take her down 7 or 8 flights of stairs. And I don't know how many times I dumped her with this bloody thing to get her down. But and we got her. We couldn't lock her up.
No.
We had to hold her in the duty room
Yes.
until the family officer came out.
Yes.
Family officer wouldn't come out.
No.
Eventually,
Maybe been out before things.
got the adjutant. You need to get this sorted. And the adjutant walked in. She jumped on him.
Right.
Well, she was on a plane the next day.
Yeah.
But you didn't want that in your life, you know.
Have that. No.
But seeing this poor wee Pippi, he was only 20, getting flung about like a rag
But it just
doll.
shows you what you can walk into when you were
Christ,
doing executing the job you were doing.
Anyway, Rob, we're going to finish up now. My man,
Thanks very much, Diggs.
we'll need to get that handshake sorted.
Oh, no.
Listen, thanks, pal.
Thanks very much, guys.
Production, what you call yourself, a producer, technician. Thank you very much.